Get as far as you can with the right elbow without taking your second step. Strong. Okay, strong, yes. I am on my strongest line, on his weakest line. So moving him is actually quite easy. It's not difficult. If he was in a fighting position with one leg, now moving him is going to be a little harder. I'm going to have to orient towards his weak line. Yes? You're starting in the strongest possible position to move him. This is weaker than this as far as moving him. So I want him to grab you, and I want you to understand that it's the push off, the Sugiyashi movement, or the Okuriyashi movement rather. Notice he lets his elbows bend, but he's not coming forward. You need to get that as the primary mover, literally the primary mover. And then after that, you're sinking in your arms kind of within that greater movement. So let go with the arms for now. Let's go back, reset. Wherever you are is fine, but reset so that we're not, only the uke is grabbing. And you should step and pull them and drag them into you so that they connect all the way to the side of your body. Dresser one with arms, something like that. So he grabs me, he's got his formal grip, step, pull, free. See how my shoulder's right up to him? Just like so. Go. It should bump into your shoulder. Good bump. Stiffens his legs a little bit, arches to give himself a little bit of hang time or air time. And again, Mr. Jameson. Pop, back. Again. Pop them, back down. So they are working together. So without really resisting, Ryan is solidifying his core so that he rocks nicely on the hip. Let's go back one more time to do it again. So, right. Uchi-komi. 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 3 times, and then the other person will go backward 3 times. So let's go. You guys don't? Okay. If your head is coming forward, your knees are coming forward, your toes are coming forward, and your partner's now rocking forward on top of you, especially if they're more than 90 pounds, you have a very, very high probability of falling forward. Okay? So the fundamentals should always be there. The toes are out, the knees are this way, the head and spine angle is here. Yes, of course, as the throw progresses, there is a little bit of forward lean, but that's different than just kind of straight up bowing as if you were bowing this way. So some of you, if you look at my head motion, are basically this way. That is not correct. Your head's dipping off to this side, here. See the difference? Okay. Your knees and toes have to kind of distribute your weight and energy, split it in a sense. Because if it's all going this way, and you're bowing, and there's something. You understand what I'm saying? If I've got a big guy on top of me, my orientation is toes here, knees here. That means movement wants to go this way. I bow this way, and then I put this gorilla on top of me with motion. There's a very high probability that I'm going to fall forward. And some of you have gotten pretty good stationary at figuring out the balance from there. But now you've got a little bit of movement and momentum, and the deficiencies in the way you're structuring the architecture of your body is showing. So this is Ogoshi stuff. This is Morote. But the fundamental shape should not be foreign to anyone in here. If anything, it should be pretty close to expert level. And for some of you, it looks lazy.
So if you let your eyes kind of follow along, you shouldn't see yourself, you should see behind you.
Yeah, sometimes, I don't do it with every student. Some students have trouble with rotation. I'll literally tell them when they turn to look at the wall behind them. So, yeah, absolutely. Good? So, we've got momentum, but we also have to have the structure of, we don't think that's a a stance per se, but you understand, the way that you're structuring your stance in your body has to be there. So you need both elements. You need a strong position, and you need to be able to control their movement, generate and control their movement. Okay, immediately feel it. You'll tell me to my face that you're not, and then 3 seconds later go, oh. You can say what you want to say. If there's no stress and weight bearing on the arm, you're not going to feel the weight with your stress. The job of this one is no different than the job of this arm in Ogoshi. What's the job of the right arm in Ogoshi? I like that. Pull in, maintain. So I lift this, and then I maintain it. I'm not lifting. The space between my fist and my shoulder is not growing. My elbow comes up to a point, but it doesn't come up endlessly. Once it's level underneath there, we're good. You don't continuously lift in an Ippon seoinage either. Right? Everybody with me? So bring this up so that it's easy for you to get that arm underneath. And then maybe they clamp a little bit, but I'm not trying to lift him bodily in the air. There. You will feel the consequence for doing that, even a little bit. If you have a heavier partner, if your partner's center of gravity is really low, you will feel the penalty for that. Secondly, the surite, the collar grip. I wish someone had told me this a long time ago. See how my fist is attached to him? It doesn't need to stay attached to him. If you do that, that's also a formula for basically putting yourself in a shihonage as you try to throw, which is quite impressive in a shihonage and stuff or something. But I wouldn't recommend it. So when I pull, 2 things with respect to the pull. I detach and then come underneath. So, see that? I'm exaggerating so you can really see it. Make sure you guys can see it. Then underneath. So although I don't separate like I would a siri-kamigoshi, the trajectory of my elbow is different. That pop and under, it's all the same. That made a huge difference in my ability to do this in randori. Because I can do a MOROTE pretty good, and I can never do it in randori. Once I started detaching and coming under, I was catching people all the time with it. Okay? Okay, secondly, it kind of in tandem with that. When you bring your elbow underneath, your fist has to come to your own shoulder. Again, otherwise, you end up in this kind of body orientation, where again, my upper body is no longer over the top of my base, which makes me weak. So as I bring my elbow under here, my thumb, or this surface of my hand, comes toward my shoulder. Again, just like I would in no-goshi, I'm pulling him to me. Right? If I try to lift him like this in a no-goshi, you would say that's what? Wrong, right? Well, same thing in MOROTE. I'm going to go this way. It's wrong. It's about pulling him into me, not up. If you get low, he'll go over. If you're high, then you have to bring him up, right? If I have a big wall or fence, I either have to climb the fence, or if the wall could suddenly drop, that'd make it easier. I could step over it. You're more doing that. You're dropping and they fall over, as opposed to you maintain it and try to pick them up over the wall. I know that what I'm saying is stuff that you should, in theory, know, but I want you in your body to know it. Hajime. We could be doing any hip throw, but there's a reason we're doing MOROTE today. Get out of their way so they can fall forward. But if you're falling forward with them, no good. Move the top of your head to your left, top of your head to your left. Okay. The legs are way too wide. Position, but this time it'll be hidari, or left. He'll walk back right, left, boom. Left, MOROTE SEOI NAGE. That's half the kata right there. Let's just do that. Got it? Walking back right. Uke gets us over the knee, turns, faces, grabs on the left side formal position, and you just do the mirror image. Avery? Well, we're not finished yet, but you'll generally finish the kata pretty close to where you started. Yes. Okay. Got it? Okay, go. Open, strike, pull. So in the same way that you would push on the first step of a formal throw in a sense, you're striking and then pulling. That practice that we did earlier is going to be important now. That same kind of movement. Parries, strikes, turns. From here, he has a double collar grip. Does not have a sleeve grip. Mr. Sanfilippo grabs the gi here to protect himself, turns in and throws. Got it? He gets up, and we're going to do the exact same thing. Not on the left side, both of them on the right side. He'll step up over the ankle at that point, he'll bow, and that'll be the end of the kata. Understood? Questions? We're going to do just that part.
Do we protect the guy or let them protect themselves?
The honest answer is that strictly, as far as the kata goes, you don't protect them. They protect themselves. Okay. But anybody who's been throwing for years and years and years and years will often have the instinctive emotion to protect the partner. So,
And that one, that was just being grabbed on was nothing, he let me go.
yeah. So I'm going to say this in this setting, and it's very important to me that what I'm about to say isn't overcooked, but you don't make more of it than what I mean to say by this. Because the details of the kata, let me say it one more time, highlight, underline, bold, italicize, are important. Say it again, the details of the kata are important. Having said that, sometimes I'll put it this way. There are some very well-intended martial artists who get they get lost in the weeds of the little thing. Like, you know the whole phrase from Master Longo, take care of the little things take care of you. But you have to distinguish between what's a little thing and what's a petty thing. You know? It's like the guy who's really, really good at karate, but still can't fight. That should be in our way of thinking. Though that's impossible. You follow? This guy's really good at taekwondo, but he'd still get his ass kicked in the fight. But he's really good at taekwondo. How can that? You understand what I'm saying? But you ask him any little detail of his kata, no, the toe angle is like that. You follow? So we're getting really good, a little too much on the art and not enough on the martial. You understand what I'm getting? There has to be a balance there. But ultimately, as far as the physical manifestation of the art, if I've got a guy who's cracking people with an ippon, or a MOROTE in this case, sharp, fast, strong, controlled, they can throw really fast with their heart, but still control the uke. But you go, hey man, your kata's, you're all jacked up because you protected your partner at the end. That guy over there has a 5 out of 10 MOROTE, but he never grabs his partner. That guy's doing it right. You understand what I'm saying? Like, don't get caught up in that level of, is the retraction here, or is it here? Like, that's the kind of stuff, frankly, at seminars that drives me insane. We're going to spend the next 15 minutes, it's like, how about just block the punch and don't get hit in the face?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? It's like, okay, you're right, I was wrong, but I bet I'd still kick your ass. Right? Like, I'm not trying to be that, you know what I mean? It's like me critiquing Michael Jordan's jump shot. Well, the textbook jump shot says you're supposed to do this with your wrist. Well, Michael Jordan will outplay you every day of the week, so maybe chill out. You know what I mean? Understand what is a small thing that matters and what's petty stuff. Follow? I'm not saying that this is petty. I'm also saying don't. The purpose of the kata, I know this is crazy, it's MOROTE SEOI NAGE, it's to improve the MOROTE, not this.
Yes.
The kata is supposed to finish here. Okay, when you finished your kata here, but all your MOROTE sucked.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? know what the priority is. Now, if your Morote is world class, every time, looks good, sharp, fast, sharp control, then yeah, focus a little bit more on the precision of the art, the kata itself. But until then, use it as a tool to improve the actual technique. You know what I mean? It's like I'm doing kicking kata, carry kata, you know, and I got the elbows in perfect, but your kick still couldn't break through a piece of pine wood. You know, it's like, get the kicks there.
Yeah, well, you said it right at the end when I put my hand down, but I think that the tool piece and a guide piece, that's what those are for. So if you're over here,
Yes.
and maybe your rotate throw was, your
That's
technique
right.
was a little bit off. It's not necessarily
It's
that
serving
you're
the
off 6
technique.
inches.
Right.
If there was something about your throw that forced you to be 6 inches away, well,
Right.
so
It's exactly right. So the kata is telling you, hey, there's probably something wrong with the Morote because of this, that, or the other thing. But if I'm still doing the same crappy Morote, but finagling a way to get back to the, you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like I had a student years ago, right, who got it obsessed in their head that the only way Osotogari was right, the only criteria that made Osotogari right was if both the partner's legs came off the ground. You understand what I'm saying? So that is a criteria, but they were making that is the end all be all. Check this Osotogari out. And in his mind, that was correct. No, you're doing it wrong. I got both his legs up. You're missing it, man. You're missing it. So use those as tools, not as like. Anyway, I think that was been said right. All right, let's. Right, left. Kumikata, normal grip. Hajime. Knee up. Hidari. Left. Formal position. Hidari kumikata. Go. Over the knee. They're going to reach in. You're going to absorb their movement. Try to step only with the left foot around. Hajime. Less at a 45. Shuto Mashuke over the top. The Shuto Mashuke is not hitting his arm. I'm taking my shoulder, which is now on the inside of his wrist, and pulling it to the outside of his wrist. So just get used to that idea first. Here, here. Okay, simple enough. Hajime. It's the same kind of idea. You make a circle with the shoulder, up and over. You're just not turning your back to them. So we're here, and I'm not hitting the arm. Close.